There we go. Hi everybody. This is going to probably be the last video for the day. I'm not real sure yet. Been getting a lot of questions about knives lately. Figured I'd show you some of what I've got. Let you know what I'm in favor of having to rely on and what I've just acquired over the years. Here we go. This isn't all, but this is some. Out on the tailgate of the Suburban. Watch out, Tana. Okay. We've got some good quality knives. We got some straight junk knives. So, first of all, you guys have seen my 3 queen steels right here. We've already talked about those. Here's 2 more of the queen steel knives. This is a newer version of this. This one here was my great-grandfather's. It was a longer version. It was probably another 2 inches longer, and the handle, of course, looked like this. Came in the same style sheath. This is from my newer one, and this was his older one. They set different in the sheath. I guess it was about the same length. I know it was, the blade was wider, but it's been sharpened a lot. But this knife actually fell in the water, got hit by a propeller on the boat, and ruined the handle. Well, Grandpa, being who he was, went ahead and just fashioned a new handle for it, and it worked. Just took a piece of wood that he had there. I don't know what it is. I can't tell. It's got so much use to it, but just made a cut with the bandsaw down through and used some old style copper rivets to put it together. It still works. It's still sharp. These 2 are handmade knives. This one was made for me. I've done a video on that before, by Delbert Clark. This one was actually one of the Clark numbered series knives. It's number 174. He made that one for my grandfather, and it's been passed down to me. This is a buck 105. It was my grandfather's. Has the sheath right there. Seen a lot of years, a lot of game cleaned with that knife. It's a quality knife. This one has seen extensive use. This is my go-to knife for everything from trimming up steaks I get at the store to processing animals. This one hasn't been used. It was a gift. It was just put up. This one used extensively. This one here is a Cutco. It's an outdoors knife. I don't remember the exact name of it. Sportsman's. It's not a zombie knife. That's right. It's not a Bear Grylls knife. It's orange so that it can be found if it's dropped. It's got a good sheath to it. Good, sturdy, solid. I really like this combination. That's from Cutco. They are the same people who now bring you K-Bar. Here we have the Queen Steel fillet knife, number 76. Right there. Can you see it? Made in USA. Means a lot. It really does. USA. This one's USA. Coincidentally, if you want Cutco knives, let me know. A very, very good friend of our family is a dealer for Cutco, and she can get it to you. If she doesn't have it in stock, she can have it in a matter of days. Anyway, this is the other well-used, probably 60-year-old Queen Steel knife. It's been through the mill, but it still works fine. This is a Rapala, or Rapella, however you guys choose to say it, wherever you're at. It's the 6-inch fillet knife. I've cleaned a lot of fish with that. Of course, the Queen Steel knives we already talked about. My Uncle Henry, I've seen a lot of use on that, from everything from camping to processing game. This is a Western, is the name of the company. It's a Boy Scout style knife. This was given to me by my grandfather when I was 14. It's razor sharp, razor sharp. I need to polish up the bolsters. They're starting to tarnish some, but has all the same functionality you would find on the standard Boy Scout knife back when we still used that style. Here's my Swiss Army knife, the Army issue, or officer issue, excuse me. You can see the scale fell off that side. It's been glued back on a couple times and finally it's gone. Still sharp. I would still use it if I had to. The Camp King, we talked about that in the previous video in the survival kit. We've got a little saber. It's a lock blade, very high carbon steel. You can tell it's rusted, very sharp. I've had that since I was about 16 as well. Things around a little bit. This is my Gerber, easy open, fine edge. I'm not at all into the serrated stuff. Serrated has one purpose and one purpose only. It's not to try to saw logs and things that are only an inch in diameter. It's to create a wound that will not heal. So anything other than that, guys, no, you're blowing smoke. This is an Ozark Trail folding knife that I bought for my stepson's wife for Christmas. She forgot to take it home. It's supposed to be in her camp stuff, but it's got a linear lock. $10. It's a decent blade, holds a decent edge. This is a Gerber. This is the one that Tana keeps in her backpack. The only reason she has it is it came with the Gerber clutch multi-tool. Came in a kit. Otherwise she wouldn't have it because of the serrated part. Seems to be a decent edge on it. I've not sharpened it up yet. Not had to. There's that one. This is that little pocket knife that I showed in the survival kit. Oh, I'm sorry. Showed in the survival kit video. Not a bad little knife. It's about a $2 knife, you know. It got a little edge to it, linear lock, little pocket clip. It's about an inch and a half blade. Tana don't. Got my little hawk knife from Frost Cutlery. I use that for a seatbelt cutter. Put my finger up in there like that. I can run it up under a seatbelt if I have to. Move my finger back out of the way a little bit and cut through the seatbelt and not hurt the patient. They never come in contact with the blade. I've used it a few times. This is another one of the small Frost Cutlery lock blades like Tana had in her survival kit. This is the one that I've got for her to carry in her pocket when we're out and about. It's not sharp, as you can tell them, but I got them for 50 cents. Otherwise, you know, you see the serrated, I wouldn't have it. I handle knives a little different than everybody else, but it's years of making them and sharpening them. Anyway, we've got the multi-tools. This is a Sheffield that my wife carries in her kit. This is the Leatherman Blast that I carry every day. They both have a decent blade on them. This one is extremely sharp and stays that way. This one is very sharp, and it seems to be staying that way so far. Now we're getting into the lower quality. We've got a cheap copy of a Swiss Army knife. This doesn't even have a company name on it or anything. It just says made in China. Okay. The corkscrew has bent just being in the pocket. Tweezers and toothpick aren't that great. Tweezers are absolutely useless. Doesn't hold an edge. It's sold for about, I think it was $7. But stepson had to have it, so he ended up with it. This is a Magnum 38. Okay. See if I can get it open. There we go. I have no idea what this knife is. All I know is it's 440 stainless, made in Japan. SKB3 is the number on it. This came in with some of the knives that Dad gave me. Miscellaneous knives. and I have no idea what it is. He didn't know what it is or where it came from. He just had it. So anyway, there's that one. This is a cheap little knife. I don't even know who makes it. Here's the box it came in. CMT maybe? Or WD? I don't know. Looks like it'd be WD. I don't know. Folding hunter's knife. Superior quality. No, not quite. You can see gaps in the fit. You can see nothing's lined up. It's very rough across there. The blades don't hold edges. Blades they hit each other when you open and close them. You can see the liners are bent. I've never used this knife. I sharpened it and went out to check it one day and found out it's junk. Went to use it. I'm not even going to bother opening it. Here's a knife that is totally junk. Stainless, China. I think I don't remember where I got this. I've got two of these. I think they might have come in a package deal at an auction one time. I bought some knives at auctions. I'd have to buy a whole box just to get one that I wanted, and then that was only because somebody else wanted it. We went over this one. This thing here. Yeah, it's neat looking. That's all I can say for it. I think it's another made in China. Maybe Pakistan. I don't know. Let me see if I can get it to open. Yeah, China. It looks like they used a handle from a pair of toenail clippers to make the blade. It does have a halfway decent spring to it, but that's it. The handles are just like real heavy tinfoil folded over. Sorry guys. Yeah, this would be about a 20-cent knife for the most part. This one here, gentleman's knife, stainless, made in Pakistan. I'm seeing a bunch of guys are putting this particular knife on their videos thinking they've got something quality. I'm sorry, but it's not quality. This is produced for pennies. Everything is, it's just cheap, okay? I really, I'll be honest with you, I really don't even have a use for it. It's just one of those things that's been in the bottom of the box forever. I know it won't hold an edge, I can tell you that. And I also know a lot of these knives will close up and the edge of the blade will actually rest on the back of the spring. Okay, now we're into the just what are people thinking type knives. This was actually supposed to be a throwing knife, and no edge retention, stainless, made in Pakistan. The holes were drilled and they weren't even straight. The handle's very heavy. I put paracord on it just because I was bored one day. Absolute junk. This is a little boot knife, same type deal, stainless. Pakistan. No, this one's not the Chinese one. Again, pennies on the dollar. Won't hold an edge. Nothing's straight. Nothing's true. Most of these cheap knives the blades are curved pretty substantially because they do use spring steel. They use a spring out of an old car or truck. Stamp it out, grind it down. Throwing knives, made in Taiwan. These things were selling big back in the late 80s, early 90s. You could buy a set of 3 for, I think it was $5. They came in a cheap, almost paper sheath junk. You know, they didn't fly well at all. They're very handle heavy. Just absolute junk. I'll be honest with you, what I use them for is setting up rows in the garden. And if I'm doing landscaping, I'll use them as a stake, and I'll tie the string from the hole here. That way I can run a straight line. The Crocodile Hunter knife. Very sharp. Again, it was made in Pakistan. But this one does hold a heck of an edge. The problem with this one is, well, I gotta say it's got a decent sheath too. It's heavy leather. It is made in Pakistan. But check this out. You guys will love that. Breakaway handle. Okay. They actually glued it in. Let's see if I can get it to focus for you. See there, they glued that handle into the, or that blade into the handle. No way. That's a heavy piece right there. Now if that blade would have been a full tang blade into a decent handle, that would have been alright. It's got a decent profile. The angle's good if you want to skin. It's a little big, but rather disappointing. I guess I could knock that plastic piece off and weld a piece of steel onto it and extend it out, but it's not worth it. Here we go, another Chinese stainless. Doesn't say what grade of stainless. It doesn't hold a great edge. It's supposed to be a knockoff of something like that. Would I depend on it? No. Have I used it much? No. And here's a fillet knife. That's a 8-inch fillet knife. I don't remember why we even ended up with it. Stainless steel. It is made in the USA. Actually, I think we got it one night we were out fishing, and the Walmart that was close, that was all they had. We weren't planning on fishing, but some friends talked us into it, so we didn't have our gear, and we just stopped and picked this up for a couple dollars. Yeah, comes with just a plastic sheath. I mean, it goes in, kind of somewhat locks. It's real lightweight. It worked for the minute. And then we have the 18-inch machete. This is the one that Harbor Freight sells. Harbor Freight sells, yeah, for about $2.99 every other month. It's not bad. You know, it's got a decent flex to the blade. The handle's a little big for my hand. Feels good. It's got decent weight to it. It needs to be sharpened up. I've not touched it. I went out and tried it on some stuff out back. The saw teeth, if I was going to use it for that, I would go through and offset every other tooth, just like you would on a saw, on a hand saw. That's something else we used to do. Anything that had an edge on it, we took care of. So the big downfall about this is, number one, it's not made in the USA. Number two is the sheath is garbage. Right here, around the top, catches on the teeth as you draw it out. Cheap nylon, so it's going to end up punching through. You can see down here. This is the one I keep in my backpack. Okay. And yes, it does fit in the pack, and you can't see it's in there, so don't have to worry about that. But anyway, recommendation. If you guys are going to buy a knife, stay away from here down. Okay, this thing here, I didn't even talk about it. You guys will love this. All serrated. It was actually in a booth at a trade swap meet thing. They had it in the Spyderco section in their booth, trying to sell it as a Spyderco knife. Came in a box that just said pocket knife. That's it. Made in China. You know, I ended up giving the guy a quarter for it. 25 cents. Just because I got a kick out of it. You know. Stainless, made in China. Serrated edge. It's junk, really. But I had to buy something. Can't go to a swap meet and not buy anything. But anyway, there we go. If you're going to buy a knife, go from here this way. You cannot beat the custom handmade knives, in my opinion. The Queen Steel knives, the Old Buck, Cutco, excellent. Uncle Henry, Old Timer, Charade. If you can find the old ones, okay? Since Taylor bought them, I'm not a fan. Western, good knives if you can find them. Saber, proven itself to me. Gerber, I'm on the fence with Gerber. I carry this one, but that one's 20 years old. Let's see, this one here I've not tested a whole lot. These little frost deals are okay as a last resort. I use this one a lot though. So, like I said, look through them. Look careful. Full tank construction. Good sturdy sheath. I mean, this buck sheath, this thing, you know, this knife and sheath will outlast me and probably my daughter. Same with the fillet knife from Queen. These knives are near indestructible. So you get what you pay for, though. From here down, the most expensive knife I bought is this one, and I paid $5 for it. Had to remember. From here down, 50 cents for that, just to throw in the pocket, or it'll fit in a little Altoids kit, whatever. But 50 cents for that. Most of your Queen Steel knives are going to be in the higher double digits. The buck knife, you know, those go in the higher double digits. Cutco, this is about a $90 knife. And then the handmade knives. This one, when there were two of them made identical, there was this one, which is 174, and there was a 175. Number 175 sold for $390. Okay. This one here isn't numbered. It was made for me, specifically for me, by him. And he said if he was to sell it, it'd be a closer to $600 knife, just because of the material. But he's long gone. He passed in '97. So, you know, it just depends, guys. But don't be afraid to pay for quality. I know Chris Reeve has some excellent knives out there for the $200, $300, $400 range. Bill Harsey's knives are going for, you know, up to $800. Great knives. You got the knives put out by Steve Kiesler. Those are great if you can find them. Castle knives are good. Grayman knives. You got a lot of quality handmade knives out there. Chance Sanders has got his new knife out from Mission Knives. It's a couple $100, I think. I'm not afraid to pay a couple $100 for a good knife. Okay, but I'm not gonna step down here and allow myself to be fooled by this knife saying that it's the same as that knife. It's got the same basic shape. It's not as thick. It's not beveled right. It's just nowhere near as heavy. So take your money you're going to spend on a bunch of cheap knives and buy a good one. Then when you're done, buy something good to take care of it in the field with. You can see this has seen a lot of use. This is Easy Lap Diamond Stone, made right here in the USA. And this will put a razor sharp shaving edge on your knife. This is what I use on that knife. That knife. That knife. This one. I use this one. This, it just puts an amazing edge on them. Okay? Do your research on a knife before you buy it. talk to people who have had them, look online, check them all out real close, learn how to take care of them properly. A lot of these knives are made out of spring steel, 1095 that you're going to get anymore. I only have a couple, but they could benefit from just a light coat of sewing machine oil, olive oil, something to protect them, because they will rust. And then you're going to be upset because you think you got ripped off and you didn't. So just, guys, quality is what you want in a knife, okay? Just like a vehicle, just like something for your home. You want quality, something you can depend on, something that's not going to leave you hanging. So, alright guys, I hope that clears up a few things about knives, gives you a couple ideas on some options. We could go into knife size, we could go into blade material, we could go into angles, we could go into bevels, we could go into, you name it, when it comes to knives. There are as many things to look at when you're looking at a knife as there are anything else. It comes down to what you want, what you can afford, and what you need. Do I need all these? Nah. Do I use all of them? Yeah. Alright guys, any questions, please feel free to ask me. Like I said before, if I don't know, I will find out. And hopefully before too long, if schedules allow, I can get some of my knives that I've got going out here to show you guys. Alright, everybody have a good day and stay safe.
You say stay.
Tana, you really don't need to do that.